Here at the Cannes Yachting Festival, one of the most exciting looking boats is undoubtedly this. This is the WiLder 60. It's built entirely from aluminium, but it's actually designed to combine the performance of a chase boat with the comfort of a cruiser and the luxury, they tell me, of a super yacht. So let's jump straight on board and see if it delivers. Now the first thing to note as we step on board is the finish. Now when I was stepping on board here, I was looking at the finer details and I was asking these guys if actually this was fiberglass, because the finish is so clean. Not a weld to be seen anywhere, but apparently it is 100% aluminium, topsides as well as hull. And if you look more closely, you'll see that the finer details are very pleasing as well. The engine vents, for instance, down here, and these lovely faceted angles in the teak decks. And these are not decorative either. These are actually practical engine vents. These on the sides here, they are decorative, but they're no less welcome for that. And in practical terms, what we have here is quite an easy kind of layout to understand. We see sort of variations on this theme on various day boats, often from Italy. So walk around decks, up onto the bow and all the way back, and central furniture, starting with a huge sunbed facing aft with a fixed backrest that also functions as the forward-facing backrest for a central transverse dinette. Now this is big enough, I'd say, for at least 8 people. It's very generous indeed. Unlike the cup holders, which are weirdly tiny, probably for espresso cups rather than tea mugs or beer bottles, I'd have thought. But again, the quality is beautiful. Lovely stainless steel detailing inset into this timber. Really heavy duty struts and hinges. And this is a nice little detail too, because it's heavyweight wood this. So I was trying to lift it up, I'm struggling to get my fingers in, but actually there's a nice little cutout, so you can do that really, really easily. Further forward, up another step, we reach the wet bar, and on a lot of day boats this wet bar would be pretty much in line with the dinette all the way across here, but actually they've changed things up a bit here. So we've got the wet bar over on the starboard side, a companionway to access the cabins down below, and a nice big chaise longue on the port side, which also of course generates extra volume down below for the twin cabin on the port side, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But first let's check out the wet bar itself. Now we've got a sink here, a little bit of work surface. Under here we've got the grill, electric grill. We've also got a couple of ashtrays sitting there. That's very Italian. See that in Genoa at the boat show quite a lot. Under here we've got a little bit of space for a bin plus an ice maker, and a good size of fridge in here as well. Good grabbing points as well as we make our way around here, and a fantastically heavyweight lid on good sturdy struts with little rubber linings so it doesn't just slam shut. Moving over to the port side, we'll squeeze past these guys here and head forward up a couple of steps. As we do so, it's very clear that this is not the kind of boat that uses guardrails, so the fenders are on these little button fittings. We've got some rails on the structure inboard, but they're quite low profile, sunken cleats. And when we reach the bow, this is what we see. A lovely swept one-piece screen leads quite seamlessly down onto an island sunbed, which doesn't do a great deal in fairness. It's just a pad for maybe 3-4 people to sunbathe, and ahead of that integrated seating for a dinette up here at the bow, and that makes loads of sense. It's a really neat little lounge, very attractive indeed. And I've had a little sit here. It's very comfortable, easily big enough for 3 people there, 3 there, so 6 people to escape the crowd back aft. It's a very elegant space, and it's made all the more elegant of course by the fact that the anchor is down there out of the way, so those lovely clean lines are perfectly preserved. We'll head back aft down the starboard side this time and make our way around the corner into the helm position. And as you can see, it's a beautifully protected section of the boat. We've got good side screens as well as that one-piece screen and the hardtop above you. We've got some inset sunroofs there, skylights I should say. They don't actually open, but they provide a decent amount of light down here at the galley and the chaise longue. Really lovely quality seats here, a pair of them with individual bolsters. They're adjustable. And at the helm itself, where we got triple 16-inch plotters here, the joystick, the wheel, wireless charger for your phone and your throttles, a little bit of switch gear. But what I really like here is, well, not so much the style of it. This is a bit boy racery for me, a bit crimson and livid. But what I really like, if I just look down here, it's not what you see when you actually open up the hatch. It's just the quality of the hardware. I mean, look at those hinges for a simple door like this. And again, we've got a rubber gasket just to shut it up nice and snug so there are no rattles. It really is beautiful quality. Heading down below, well, given its day boating credentials and those lovely sleek looks and the fact there are no hull windows to interrupt those pretty lines, well, you don't expect a huge amount. So it's actually quite a pleasant surprise. We arrive down here in a lounge just offset to port. We've got an L-shaped settee here with little movable sort of coffee tables and a small galley butting up against that on the port side here with an electric hob, a microwave, a good sized sink, and I think we've got a fridge under here as well. Yeah. And even though we don't have hull windows, we do have high level windows of a good size looking out onto those side decks. We don't have any cutaway bulwarks, of course, so we can't see the sea, we can't see a proper view, but we do at least get some proper natural light, which is very pleasant indeed. And what's even more pleasant is the fit out. Again, fantastic fabrics, these soft touch leather style fabrics everywhere in contrasting colours. It's a very, very stylish boat. And if I close this door over for a sec and face across from that settee, you see we've got a flush mounted TV set into a sort of copper toned mirror there. Again, more of these soft touch bulkheads. And actually this particular bulkhead, as you can see, is a door, and you don't really notice that until you witness the handle. We'll have a look at that right now, because as you'd expect, this is the day heads and it's a good sort of size. We've got the toilet nestling under that hinged plinth there, out of sight until you need it. We've got a good size of shower too, separate with a rain shower. And again, I think headroom in here is even better. It's fantastic. More of these mirrors to make the very best use of the light that comes in from these little high level windows. And if we back out of there and open these two doors, you'll see that we've got a pair of cabins amidships. Neither of them of course has an ensuite. They need to use the day heads on that starboard side. But we'll start on the port side first. That's the less glamorous of the two cabins because of course it starts slightly further aft. We've got a bit more space there. Although having said that, you've still got space for a little breakfast bar for coffee in the morning and some storage up top and down below. Now in here we've got no windows at all of any kind, so it is a little bit dark and pokey, but as I say, it's the least glamorous of the three. Reading lights at the head end of the bed and a hatch that comes up under the cushion for that chaise longue to port of the helm station. Now let's back out of there and move across to the starboard side, a couple of steps down again, and a plunging deck head. But if I crouch down, well, it's not just stylish and nicely put together. There is actually plenty of room to sit up in bed at the head end there. Again, no windows at all in here, but they do a very good job with the mirrors, as you can see. Not just on the bulkheads, but also on the deck head itself here. It's a very cool place. And I have to say, you can't quite tell from simply watching the pictures, but it feels supremely well built, this boat. More mirrors there, again to make best use of light. And there's your hanging storage with automatic LED strips when you open those doors. But having said it's beautifully built, I have to say these cupboard doors, I noticed this in the bow cabin earlier, they're slightly lightweight and rattly. Nicely trimmed, of course, like everything else in this boat. Let's step up into that lounge, close that over and head forward to the owner's cabin. If those mid cabins are slightly compromised as guest cabins, well, this is quite impressive. The glass linings on the back of that door. Glass linings, in fact, on the back of the bulkhead too. And there's your owner's bed, right in the centre, slightly elevated. Good access to both sides. And we've got high level windows here, again, straight out onto the side decks. More with these contrasting soft touch leather style finishes. And at the head end of the bed, in addition to your reading lights, you've got charging points and controls for those lights, and a little fusion remote, and a little unit here just tucked under that side deck so you can control the temperature in here. With nice high level vents for your air conditioning, which makes loads of sense. More hanging storage in there, of course. And if I spin around and face the starboard side, well, here is our ensuite, as you'd expect in the owner's cabin, and it's a good size, slightly on the diagonal, as you can see. Another one of these platforms that comes down over the toilet to keep it outside until you need it. Very stylish fit out. Kind of fluted glass sink there, and a good size of shower with a rain shower, its own very sizable window again out onto that side deck. Another one here, lots more glass, lots of space, very pale modern fit out, really classy spot. As for the engines, well, you can of course access them by hinging up a more substantial section of this sunbed, but for easy day-to-day access we've got a little hatch on the starboard side of the cockpit. Once you're down in here, as you can see, headroom is pretty tight, but the footprint of the place is pretty vast. We've got the gyros back here, the generator over there on the port side. If I spin around, you'll see we've got the batteries over here, and the ventilation through those beautiful aft vents there, and of course on the port side as well. And if I move towards the centre of this checker plate and head aft, here are our engines. A pair of MAN V8 1300s, 2,600 horsepower in total, operating through surface drives for performance around about 40 knots. But just in the last couple of days, they've also decided to offer this boat as an outboard platform, in which case you do away with all of this and you get quad Mercury 600s on the transom, which will apparently achieve around about 38 knots. As you've no doubt spotted, the festival's getting lashed today by 30-knot winds. So much as we'd like to take this boat out, we're not able to do that. We're going to have to make do with our quick walk around. But even in the half hour we've been here, our impressions of this boat are very positive. It's very Italian, so if you want prosaic things like guardrails and windows, you're going to be a bit disappointed. But if you want beautiful style, really high quality, and a boat that feels just a little bit different to everything else out there, this new WiLder 60 is going to put a very big smile on your face. Now, whether you enjoy dramatic Italian automotive style boats like this or not, feel free to comment in the space below. If you like the video, hit a like, and if you want more videos like this in the future, then please do subscribe to the Motorboat and Yachting channel.